sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma sangstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. Bhagavad-gita 4:8. So side by side he gives protection to the devotees, sadhus, and arranges to kill the demons, dushkritina. Sadhu means devotee. Devotees of Kṛṣṇa are called sadhu in the Bhagavad-gita. Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadhureva chamantavya samyak vyavisido hisaha. Even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. One who is strictly a pure devotee of Kṛṣṇa, he is mentioned as sadhu. Sadhu eva chamantavya. He is a first-class sadhu. Even if he's a grihasta, it doesn't matter. Generally, we understand sadhu is someone with saffron cloth. He's celibate, renounced. Not necessarily. A sadhu's qualification is that he must be a pure devotee of Kṛṣṇa. Titikshava karunika, suhrida sarvadehinam, ajita satrava santa, sadhava sadhu bhujanaha. The symptoms of a sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies. He is peaceful. He abides by the scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime. Srimad Bhagavatam 3:25-21. So Madhusudana, Kṛṣṇa, comes just to protect his devotees. And how does he protect his devotees? Well, one way is by annihilating the miscreants, dushkritinaha, those who misuse their intelligence. Kriti means intelligence, and dushkriti means perverted intelligence or misused intelligence. So those who misuse their intelligence to hurt others or to make the world a less pleasant place to live, they're demons generally, and atheists. And so Kṛṣṇa makes arrangements to annihilate them. And we see this. Someone may be a very great demon like Saddam Hussein or somebody like that who hurt and killed thousands and thousands of his own people. And then one day the Americans drop in through the roof and he's finished. So Kṛṣṇa arranges these things just to show the actual justice of the universe. They're allowed to flourish for some time, and then Kṛṣṇa comes and kills them in one form or another. However, the sadhus are always protected. Well, how does Kṛṣṇa protect the sadhus? By speaking. Kṛṣṇa speaks the absolute truth in Bhagavad-gita and other scriptures, so that the sadhus, the devotees, those who are inclined to him, will be protected and saved by this wisdom, this knowledge. Because what is really salvation? Salvation is a state of consciousness. It's a state of consciousness where we see very clearly that we are not this body. In other words, attachment to material life exists because we have no spiritual consciousness, or our spiritual consciousness is covered over by material conditioning. And the nature of this material conditioning is I and mine. Oh, I am Mr. So-and-so, and I am from this family, and we come from this particular country or region or state, and we have our family traditions, and they are very important, and so on and so forth. And without me, then the whole family would be ruined, and therefore I am Mr. So-and-so, the head of the family, blah, blah, blah. This is material attachment. I, and then the other side is mine. My family, my house, my wife, my children, my job, my possessions, my this, my that. So this is going on, and this is the cause of our fall down into the material world. We want to have a big position, a big title, big name, big reputation, and we also want to have so many possessions, attachments, and other relationships with the material energy. So these things are called collectively maya, illusion, or moha, actually hallucination. Hallucination means that we are spiritual living beings, and we are eternal. But we're seeing ourselves that I am this temporary body. This body is born, pushed out through a tunnel, coated with blood and mucus, and then comes out screaming in this world in pain as the lungs open up. And then one goes through so many indignities and embarrassments, failures, and so many different troubles. And finally gets to the end of life, and what is waiting? Old age, disease, and death. So this is the history of this body. This is the story of everybody's body in the material world. But we have another body, a perfect body, a body that is without birth and death, without pain, without ignorance or suffering, and certainly without any attachment or relationship with this material world. That's our spiritual body. How do we know we have a spiritual body? Well, if you're hearing this, you're conscious. And if you're conscious, you're a spiritual being. And if you're a spiritual being, you have a spiritual body. It's that simple. But because of attachment to this material world, this false identification with the material body, we imagine ourselves to be a material person, Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so or whatever. This is the cause of all of our suffering. So Kṛṣṇa appears to speak Bhagavad-gita and give us the truth that you're not your body. And therefore he is known as Madhusudana. He's the killer of this demon of attachment, this ghost that is haunting everyone. It's just a ghost. In other words, it's just a subtle thing. It's not even tangible, not even real. But because we believe in it, it is so. So all we have to do is change our belief system, change our ontology, and we can be free from this attachment. And that's the purpose of training everyone in Vedic society in material renunciation. Because if we live in an ashram under the direction of a self-realized soul, we come to realize very quickly that we're not this material body. The ashram life is structured in such a way as to train us in spiritual awareness on one side, and on the other side to have us experience how little material support we actually need to maintain this body. And unless one has had such an experience, it's very difficult to conceptualize the fact that I'm a spiritual living entity, that I am separate from this body. I don't even really need this body. I can do quite well without it. So temple life is there, and we spent many years in temple life, in training in India, and we advise everyone to take the opportunity to spend some time in the temple and get this training. That is the style, that is the pattern of Vedic life. And this is done in order to protect us from too much attachment to this material world, which can stop us from attaining our perfect bodies. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of My Perfect Body. This is David Hughes, your host, reminding you to visit us on the web at esotericteaching.org, where you can purchase the complete Esoteric Teaching Introductory Seminar DVD and many CDs of transcendental music and mantras.